4. Welcome to W&L Sports Weekly. I'm your host, Jeremy Franklin. This week, we'll speak with riding coach Gordon Reistrup, senior volleyball captain Megan Steinhardt, and junior men's cross country captain Rob George. But first, here's a look back at last weekend in Washington and Lee sports. At the Old Dominion Athletic Conference Cross Country Championship meet in Salem on Saturday, the Washington and Lee women finished second and the men were third. Lynchburg College took both team titles, snapping the Generals' 5-year run on the women's side. Senior Kat Telfian placed second, and she was joined on the all-conference first team by senior Sarah Keckler and the ODAC Rookie of the Year, first-year Lauren Schultz. First-year Molly Ortiz and senior Dorothy Todd earned second-team all-conference status. For the men, first-year Harrison Tucker and sophomore Robert Warneford Thompson were second-team all-conference runners. Women's soccer defeated Guilford 2-0 in an ODAC quarterfinal match at Watt Field. After a scoreless first half, first-year Ainsley Daigle scored off an assist from classmate Hannah Sackfield just 37 seconds into the second stanza, and sophomore Allie Espina's 11th goal of the season iced the win in the 76th minute. The field hockey team got 2 goals from senior Alex Caritas in defeating Roanoke 4-0 in an ODAC tournament first-round matchup at the W&L Turf Field. Washington and Lee then fell 3-1 at Eastern Mennonite in the semifinals on Tuesday, with first-year Catherine Price netting the Generals' lone goal. W&L saw its season come to a close in men's soccer with a 3-0 ODAC quarterfinal loss at Hampton-Sydney. The Generals finished the year at 5-7-4. Football lost a heartbreaker at Wilson Field, missing a game-winning field goal in the final seconds of regulation and dropping the contest 35-34 to Bridgewater in overtime. Sophomore quarterback Charlie Westfall threw for 2 touchdowns and ran for another, but the Generals fell to 3-6 on the year. In volleyball, Washington and Lee went 1-3 in the Seahawk Invitational in Maryland, falling to number 23 Eastern, Salisbury, and Gallaudet, but sweeping host St. Mary's. Junior Mara Schmitz led the way in the victory over the Seahawks, recording 13 kills while hitting 500. Both swimming teams knocked off Transylvania at home, with the men earning a 161-97 victory and the women defeating the Pioneers 150-110. For the men, senior Nick Telluri won 4 events, while sophomores Jocelyn Casada and Elizabeth Starnes each finished first in 2 races for the women. And in riding, Washington and Lee placed 5th at 2 invitationals over the weekend, competing at Bridgewater on Saturday and the University of Virginia on Sunday. With me now to discuss those events and the riding season as a whole is head coach Gordon Reistrup. Gordon, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Could you tell us a bit more about how the Generals fared at those 2 competitions over the weekend?
At Bridgewater and UVA, we had very solid 5th-place finishes. We also garnered high point rider titles at both. Sophomore Tamara Morse was 1st and 3rd over fences and then on the flat. And Collier McLeod, who's a freshman, was reserve high point rider in a 4-way ride-off with 2 of the Hollins riders. At Bridgewater and at UVA, Tamara Morse was again high point rider, placing 2nd in both of her classes. We had some good placings, really good placings at Bridgewater at the upper levels. A little weakness in the lower level flat classes, which reversed a little bit on Sunday at UVA, and we had some better placings down low and missed a couple spots in the over fences classes. But overall, really good. I think the team's really starting to develop some strength throughout.
You mentioned the performances of Tamara and Collier, 2 underclassmen on your roster. What does that say about the future of your Washington and Lee program?
I think with the incoming freshmen, we have a lot of open and intermediate freshmen this year, which would be upper-level riders. I think that bodes well for ODACs and other competitions in the spring because we have a lot more sort of options to choose from, horse rider combinations, that sort of thing, as we go into ODACs and our spring season. Also, in coupling with our veteran riders with the more experience like Allison Lemon and Emily Coyle, our captains, we have sort of a broader upper-level base, and I think strength at the top trickles down and helps the lower-level riders want to step up their game as well.
Overall, what were the Generals able to accomplish this fall?
I think one of the most important things we've been working on is, as Allison Lemon mentioned when you spoke to her last week, riding is such an individual sport most of the time, and getting that individual sport transferred over to a team competition and that general unity, cohesiveness. We've done more sort of team group activities, team dinners. Last weekend on Friday for Parents Weekend, we hosted a meet and greet sort of get together at the farm, which was a big success, and I thank everybody who was involved with making that go off so well. As well, we're looking to really develop, depth in our string, get those mid-level riders stronger, trying to do more team practices certainly as we head towards the winter season.
What kind of expectations do you have when the Generals get back to action in January and February?
Well, right now we are a very good 5th place in the regional standings as we head into the winter season. We're 1 point behind Sweetbriar. We're the only non-riding school, and by that I mean we don't have our own facility, our own programs such as Sweetbriar, Hollins, Bridgewater, Randolph, and Lynchburg. So we're right in the mix. And then we also have, again, I mentioned earlier, more depth at the top. So we have more options as far as looking towards ODACs and NRCs in the spring. Tamara Morse has been 3rd or better in all of her classes this fall, and that has not only won her 2 High Point Rider titles, but has also put her up 2nd in the Cacchione Cup individual regional standings. She's almost qualified on the flat and soon would be qualified over fences as well. Allison Lemon is not far off from qualifying for regionals as well. The hardest thing is, although we want, of course, qualify as many riders for regionals, other than in the open division, if you qualify somebody for regionals, they're no longer eligible for that lower level division. Unlike swimming, where you qualify in the 400 meters over and over and over again to go, say, to NCAA championships, that sort of thing. Once you qualify, you're done with that level, you have to move up. And so that opens up gaps in the roster where we may not have somebody to step in. So I think that makes some, for a little bit of, you try to get them qualified right at the end of the year, or try to wait until next year, early in the season, to get them qualified so you have some new riders coming in to take their place on the roster.
So fascinating to hear about the team strategy of what most people would think of as an individual sport. Gordon, we thank you for joining us here, and we wish you luck in the winter season.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
With me now is Megan Steinhardt, senior volleyball captain from Cedar Park, Texas. Megan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
What was the biggest difference to you between the 5-10 start this year and the 13-match winning streak that you had?
Well, I think it just took us a little while to get going. Our first tournament that we have is usually teams that aren't as good. And it takes us a little while to, when we start playing good teams, to kind of get in our swing of things. In our first tournament this year, we played, Juniata and Emory and some really great teams. And we lost a few matches, and so we weren't really in our swing of things, weren't really comfortable, kind of annihilating teams and winning in 3 the way that we usually do. So once we kind of started, getting our rhythm back together, then really things just kept rolling, and it really just moved forward after that.
Who's been the most influential person for you during your time at Washington and Lee?
I'm going to have to say, I guess one of the other senior volleyball captains, Rachel Phillips, she is probably my best friend at Washington and Lee. I didn't know her coming in. I'd met her once at a tournament when we were in high school, but we just, bonded really well together. We lived together. This is our 3rd year living together now, and it's incredible to find someone that I can, spend so much time with and still like. And we're very different. We have different political views, different views on, different things about life. And I think we challenge each other really well. And we are able to agree to disagree on things that, both matter to us. And I just love her a lot.
You went 1-3 at the Seahawk Invitational at St. Mary's this weekend, but what do you take from those matches as you prepare for the ODAC tournament?
I think, every athlete hates to lose. And I think it's important when you're going, we have to go on a giant winning streak now, and I think it's really important to have that perspective of, wow, it really is awful to lose, and to have that so close to us, and really have that feeling like very, very near to us, so that we haven't forgot that losing hurts really badly, I think is going to be really valuable as we go through. And, we're not afraid to lose, but we really want to win.
What will the Generals need to do to be successful at Hollins this weekend?
I think if we just play hard and continue to play, the way that we did when we were on our big game winning streak, I think that will be great. I think we need to have a lot of confidence in ourselves and in each other. Our coach told us yesterday that we are the only players in the ODAC who know what it feels like to win an ODAC title. And I think that going forward gives us a lot of confidence and a lot of trust and love for our teammates and for each other. I think is a huge part of it.
Well, Megan, thank you for joining us here. Good luck this weekend.
Yep, thank you.
Joined now by Rob George, junior men's cross country captain from Middletown, New Jersey. Rob, welcome to the show.
Nice to be here.
The Generals placed third at the ODAC Championship meet this past Saturday. From your perspective, how did Washington and Lee run down in Salem?
We ran a good race. We were unfortunately missing three of our top guys, Jack Ivey, Joe Stusek, and Tyler Gears, but a lot of guys ran really well down there, and we're happy with how we placed.
What makes the W&L cross country team different from any other team you've competed with?
It's a really cohesive unit. All the guys, we've got 18 guys in the team this year, all the guys get along very well with each other, and I think you develop some special bonds when you're out there running with a group of guys for 2 hours in the middle of the woods, so it's a great group.
What are the Generals looking to accomplish at the Southeast Regional on November 14th?
Well, we roll into the regional meet trying to do exactly what we've been doing here at ODAC's, just peaking at the right point of the season and get everybody to continue to run their best times late into the year.
Your top two finishers at the ODAC meet were a first year and a sophomore. You and the other two captains, Jack Ivey and Michael Shiplet, will be back next year as well. What kind of expectations do you have for the Generals in 2010 and in the years to come?
It's definitely to our advantage how young we are and the fact that we'll return practically our entire team. We're really excited about what the possibilities of next season can be. If we're healthy and running our best, we'll definitely be a big-time force in the ODAC and looking to do some serious damage at regionals this time next year.
Well, Rob, thank you for joining us here. Good luck at Guilford next weekend.
Thanks.
The Washington and Lee volleyball team will vie for a 9th consecutive conference championship at the ODAC tournament at Hollins University this weekend. The second-seeded Generals will face 7th-seed Roanoke at 4 o'clock Friday afternoon in the quarterfinal round, with the semifinals and championship set for Saturday. Follow the Generals online throughout the tournament with WLUR All Access at wlur.wlu.edu. Washington and Lee football wraps up the 2009 season at ODAC rival Emory and Henry at 1 o'clock on Saturday. You can also listen live on WLUR. Men's swimming heads to Charlotte for a meet with Bluegrass Mountain Conference foes Wingate, Rollins, and Catawba on Friday and Saturday, while women's swimming has its first ODAC dual meet of the year at Randolph-Macon on Saturday. Be sure to visit GeneralSports.com for the latest scores, schedules, and news on Washington and Lee athletics. For W&L Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching.